So we are now live on the state of Scottish football. Thank you for joining us. And we've got a new person on the show, and it's Michael. Michael, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks, Reagan. Be nice to me now. I'm the new guy here.
No problem, mate. So Michael, there's been a lot of things happening in Scottish football today. First of all, what do you make of the statement from the Celtic Trust and the Celtic Supporters Association regarding the appointment of Bernard Higgins?
Yeah, well, I mean, they haven't really messed the words with that, but no, as a very strong statement, I just thought before we came on air. So I mean, it's just a pity because that things are going well on the park for the club, but at the moment that kind of like overshadows it of the park. But here's hoping they get it. There's all one way or another, but I don't think, if I know the Green Brigade, the likes of you, Reagan, I don't think they'll give up. They'll give up very easy. So I don't think this is the end of the matter.
No, but I think it just shows the power of football supporters. But do you think it can be a detrimental effect for the team on the park?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Celtic game the other week when they were playing Livingston, and a few people said that to me after the game about the team might be put off by that, because usually when you come out that tunnel, as you know, it's a wall of sound and you can't hear yourself think at the best of times. But because the game started and they were so quiet for half an hour, and then they let out a big noise after kind of like 30 minutes. But I don't think that they should have done that, because I think that kind of like put off the team in the kind of way, and it showed, because Celtic dropped 2 points that day.
Yeah, but I think it's also good that they're standing up for what they believe in, and obviously hopefully they do all the best that they can, because they believe it's the right thing to do. The next thing we're going to move on to, Michael, is Ange Postecoglou. What do you make of it? Because he's got Celtic into the Premier Sports Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he, Reagan? He's got the team playing better football. Let's face it couldn't be any worse than last season. But he's just got this rapport with not only the players but the team as well. Ange Postecoglou deserves massive credit, because when he came in, no one knew about him and stuff. He had to build the whole team. He had to bring in 12 players. Now, these 12 players weren't going to gel all at one time, but you see it coming together now, and all that. And I mean, it wasn't the best performance from Celtic at the weekend, but what you could say is that they've got the job done and into the first final. And so I mean, it's done a brilliant job since it's come in, and I mean, it just shows you. I mean, you don't have to hear of a manager, because I think we're too kind of like quick to judge people in this country. Just because that you haven't heard of a man doesn't mean to say he's a bad manager. I mean, look at Wim Jansen and, Dr. Joseph Engels and all the rest of it, so you can't write people off just because that he's not a big kind of household name, as it were. But, Andrew's one of these men, I don't think you can mess with him actually when you hear him doing this press conference. I like listening to his press conference. It's quite fun at times, and I'm listening to all the kind of like stupid questions all the journalists asks, apart from me, because I'm one of the better kind of like journalists. But yeah, no, he's just been a breath of fresh air to Scottish football.
And someone that's been playing really well for Celtic is Jota. Do you think they should try and tie Jota down to a long-term deal, Michael?
I was actually thinking about this the other week, and I knew that you were going to ask me this question. So after the game, you know how they get presented with a bottle of wine and stuff like that, or I think they should give him a notepad after the game, just because his name is called Jota. But yeah, I mean, sorry for that non-funny joke there, but yeah, I think Celtic should tie him down to a long-term deal as well. And I think most of the Celtic fans would want to see this team staying together for, like 2 or 3 years, not to get ahead of not to get ahead of any Celtics fans' mind here, but I think that they can go far and as well, and if they can win the cup final against Hibs, but I know that we're going to speak about. I think that they can kick on from there and building as well, and yeah. So I mean the title race is definitely on, but yeah, I mean in answer to your question, yeah, I think they should time up. Yep.
And the next thing I just want to ask you, Michael, is the allocation that Jack Ross has said. I know Jack Ross has had he's the say on it today, but I see Hibs have got, is it 18,000 for the final? What do you make of that? Because I see Jack Ross was disappointed with it.
Reagan, it's when if a non-old firm club, if you want to call it like that, makes a cup final, and they always come out the day after when they reach the final and say, well, we want so many tickets, 25,000 or 20,000 of tickets. I mean, it's just, in my opinion, it's a wee bit embarrassing for Scottish football. And you think as well that they never kind of took a full allocation to the semi-final against Rangers on Sunday. I mean, you just have to look at St Johnstone on Saturday night. St Johnstone never used a full kind of like allocation up. So I think like Jack Ross might have a bit of a cheek in saying that. I know why he's saying that, but I don't think it's right. I don't know about how you feel about that, Reagan, but I don't think he's right at all about that.
Yeah, because I can understand why he's saying it, because they obviously won that cup in 2016 when they, on that famous day when David Gray scored that great goal against Rangers in the last minute. But they only sold, like you say, 10,000 tickets for Sunday's game against Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, like, as I say, we always have this conversation when it's a kind of normal film team. But I guess looking at like if Rangers are playing Ross County on a Sunday at 12 o'clock, you're always guaranteed when you look at the away end full. And I know that's a league game, and I know it's a dingbat. It's totally different venue and stuff like that. But I think that you get my point, because like the fans would go anywhere, no matter if a ticket kicking off at 2:30 in the morning. People will be there to see the game, especially a Glasgow derby, Celtic against Rangers. But I don't think it's right at all. Where, but as I say, I can see Jack's point, but I don't know. Back up with some evidence.
Yeah. Next thing, Michael, what do you make of Martin Boyle? Because that was his first goal, the first time he scored against Rangers, and he managed to score 3 goals, Michael. It was a great day for him.
Yeah, I mean, It's funny because it was like a carbon copy of the game they had at Ibrox a few weeks ago, when they got the man sent off and Hibs were the better team that day. And then obviously when you're down to 10 men, that the back's against the walls and stuff. But it reminded me of that game on Sunday. I must admit, it was a very poor performance from Rangers. I thought Rangers would have won. I thought it would have been a tight game. But yeah, Hibs played well, and Martin Boyle played well as well. And a lot of people forget that he was away he was away in international duty, and then all these miles to come back home to play well and score a hat trick. But no, Hibs were looking quite decent on Sunday, and I was quite surprised actually, especially on that side of the park at Hampden. But no, Hibs, well done to Hibs to get to the final. I thought before the game, as you asked me that question, I thought Hibs would still have nightmares after last season's, that they got to the two semi-finals. But obviously they never had nightmares. They wanted to get the job done, and I think as well it was about a payback time because of what happened at Ibrox, where they got a man sent off and they shouldn't have get like a man sent off. But that's by the by. But I was just happy for Fabs to get to the final.
Yeah, and in terms of the other side of Glasgow, Rangers have got a new manager, and it's interesting to see that they've not brought anyone with a Scottish or a Rangers affiliation to help Van Bronckhorst a job. Do you think maybe it would have helped if they would have brought someone that's been involved in Scottish football or even a Scottish influence there?
In answer to your question about if they've got a Rangers background or not, that doesn't make any kind of difference, that you would say, because you could go in there knowing the club's history the inside out and still be a failure. So, that doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I mean, it surprises me how they've not brought in somebody from Scottish football, not affiliated to Rangers, but with a different club, because I'm sure I saw Neil McCann's name was in for the assistant manager, and that was before Van Bronckhorst got the job as well. So yeah, I mean, I think he's going in at a bad time actually, because he's got to pick up the players. I think today was his first training session, so he's only got one more. Or 1.5 before first game, because obviously they would do a light session before the game on first game. So he's coming in at a very kind of like difficult time as well. And I don't know how he felt on Sunday by watching that game. He must be thinking, well, what am I kind of like going into as well, And for Goldson to come out and say that after the game, that basically came from a bit left field, But yeah, I mean, time will tell with Van Bronckhorst and the coaching staff if it all works.
Yeah, and now I just want to ask you about those comments from Connor. What do you make of them, that Rangers have got a lack of hunger after winning the title?
When I heard the comments, it reminds me of what Neil Lennon said last season about the Celtic players for the European game. And Lennon basically came out and said after the game that there's a lot of players basically were saying that they weren't interested in putting on that green and white jersey. So it reminds me of that a wee bit. For Goldson to come out and say that after the game, it's a difficult one. I think the next test would be on first night at home at Ibrox in front of 50,000. And believe me, if anything doesn't, if the team doesn't act on the park well, the fans will let them know kind of like off the park. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Van Bronckhorst's first game or 60th game, you know, they would be right on his back as well. And as well that, I mean, that you know, I think it's a hoodoo for Rangers at Hampden Azley, because for the past couple of seasons they've no mega final and all that. And I mean, for the Rangers fans to go there, to spend all that money and, you know, getting a performance at that. So, I mean, we'll see what first night brings and all that, and hopefully it'll be a good result for Scottish football, because we want to keep the coefficient kind of up. But as I say, if it doesn't go the way, you know as well as I do, the Rangers fans will be up in arms. So what's the space as? But I mean, you would rather the game was at home than away, you would say.
Yeah. The next thing I just want to ask you, do you think Steven Gerrard maybe said to the players in the squad that maybe they could see themselves down in the Premier League, and maybe that's changed them a little bit? Or what do you think's maybe affected them this season, because they've not been playing as well as they have done, Michael?
No, and they've been. You can put the kettle on for any Rangers game, and they'll be getting beat 1-0 at half time or whatever. You know, it's totally different to last season. You know, it's a weird one. In my opinion, I think like the deal was maybe done already, because when you look at the situation, it was a way get quick out of Rangers. I think he's lost a bit of, you know, I'm not buying how the Rangers fans are saying that he was only there to do one job, to win 55 titles or whatever we the 55 or the first title, you know, it's up to people to come to their own conclusions at that. But what about the Scottish Cup? What about the League Cup? Were they not? Does that not count as well? You know, and also that we know that Rangers is a bit still in financial trouble a wee bit. So you would think like the other cups would kind of help them financially as well. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Just looking back to Emma Dawson BT Sport interview after the game, saying, you know, do I look happy and all that, and then the next minute he was away. I guess find it a bit surprising, but money talks in football, Regan. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Do you expect any players from Rangers to go in January? Because one player that's been linked for a while is Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy at all, does he? In fact, he missed a couple of chances on Sunday, and if it was last season, you would think, well, that's going to be a goal for Rangers. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a few players there not happy as well. I do think Morelos is one of them, you know, and maybe Nathan Parson as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if Steven Gerrard comes in it to buy a Christmas present at Ibrox this year to take away one or two of the players. But I mean, going back to the goalsing point that you made earlier on, that even though he's come in and said that, but you're wondering who it was now. And it might be Morelos, or it might be McGregor or whoever as well. But just have to keep an eye on that kind of like situation as it kind of like developed, because you know it's not going to end there. You know, that's only the beginning as well. You know, and Van Bronckhorst would need to hit the ground running as well, because people in Scotland says that Scottish football is a fishbowl sometimes. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think I heard at the press conference yesterday that I had a meeting with Tavernier, with just him and Van Bronckhorst, and they're training today. So we just have to wait and see what happens on Thursday night at Ibrox.
Yeah. The next thing I just want to touch on, me, Michael, is the Dundee United Aberdeen game, and that was the incident we've seen with Ojo from Aberdeen. He got sent off at Tannadice on Saturday's game.
Yeah, I never saw the highlights on Saturday, obviously, because I was at the game at Hampden's at Johnson and Celtic, but it was brilliant. I had a football day on Sunday. I was watching the Scottish football, and then I was watching a bit of the Premiership game, and then the Hibs Rangers game as well. So I found the instant, again, the SFA is maybe kind of like, you know, they've made a meal of it, basically, you know, again, and I'm not surprised got that. When was you know, I feel sorry for Ojo, and I know how the Aberdeen manager is up in arms about it, and all that, and too rightly so as well, Reagan, you know, you would have to say that. But I mean, that guy, the fan of Dundee United, I mean, what was he doing? Because like when you see that incident again, that he's nowhere near the barrier, like he had to like run down he had to run down some stairs to get to him. So what was he playing at? What was his game? And you know, when I see that, it just annoys me when you know, people there to watch a game of football and it's spoiled by one person.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was very, very disappointing to see that, because obviously it's great to see fans back, but that just spoiled it for me, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing beats atmosphere, Reagan, because you know, when you were watching football last season, it was a chore to watch because you heard that stupid fake noise, and you know, nobody was there. But it was only for Sky's benefit because, well, that's Sky for you at times. But no, you're right in saying that because Dundee United has got a good fan base, especially at Tannadice as well, and you know, it takes one stupid person to do that, and it spoils a game as well, you know, for both sets of fans, you know. But yeah, I mean, let's hope we don't see anything like that again. And yeah, I guess feel sorry for kind of the old Joe as well, because when you see it again, Reagan, that his momentum took him to the he couldn't stop running and stuff. So but no, I mean it wasn't nice to see, and I don't like fans getting involved in with players or whatever. It's all right celebrating with them when they score, when they go in the cup final or whatever, but not over that. You know, it's a bit poor.
Yeah, so something we're going to touch on that's positive was Scott Brown and the Glenn Kamara, when Glenn Kamara was racially abused by a Slavia Prague player last year. When Scott Brown went over and stood together to show that both Glasgow clubs were showing the fight against racism, Scott Brown has been nominated today for an award by UEFA. What do you make of that, Michael?
It's just a mark of Scott Brown, isn't it? He's a good ambassador to, well, he was a good ambassador and to the Celtic, and they wanted to make a fresh start. But yeah, I mean, it was so nice of him to do that, and as I say, that's a mark of a good captain, where he can go over to the opposing player and, you know, puts his hand around him and says a few words and just walks away, and that's all it needs. You know, it doesn't make a big kind of, well, you know, but yeah, I mean, fair play to Scott Brown for doing that. When I saw the news today, I had a wee smile on my face, but I'm not surprised because Scott Brown's like a winner as well. I'm still getting used to him actually playing for the red and white of Aberdeen instead of the green and white of Celtic. It's going to be a bit weird seeing him playing against Celtic on Sunday for the first time. That's going to be well, not the first time, but the first time he's been back to Parkhead since he's left. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. But no, I mean that Scott Brown over the back. He's a nice guy. He's a genuine guy, and yeah. But I'm not surprised that he's getting an award for that. So well done to Scott Brown for doing that.
Yeah. Next thing we just want to touch on, Michael, is Stephen Glass and Scott Brown at Aberdeen. What have you made of them? Because they went to Ibrox and got a 2-2 draw. Then they beat Jack Ross's team, but then they've suffered from back-to-back defeats from Motherwell and Dundee United on Saturday as well, Michael.
Yeah, Aberdeen didn't really got off to a good start at all, did they? Especially in the European games as well, the qualifiers. Everybody was quite surprised at that night, Reagan, the Ibrox, because I thought Rangers were, you know, it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be a tight occasion, but I fancied Rangers to come out on top, especially at Ibrox. And when that score came through, I couldn't believe it. So it's been an up and down start to the season, you know. New Scott Brown's, well, I was going to say he's new to the coaching game. He's not really. He was a coach at the under 21s the last couple of seasons. He was working under, was it Stevie Friel as well? But nothing about first team level, you know. So like you're going upper level as well. So once they got that point at Ibrox, you think, okay, they're going to kick on now and start, you know, picking up points or winning games or whatever. And I can't. I don't know about you, Reagan. I can't put my finger on it, but they haven't really kind of gel well, if you see what I mean, and go on a run of games. I mean, I saw them the other week against Celtic as well up at Aberdeen, and okay, it finished 2-1, and okay, Aberdeen scored the goal in the second half, but overall, I thought Aberdeen were pretty poor that day as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be like a learning curve as well to not only Scott Brown but to Stephen Glass, because he's new to kind of like Scottish football in the kind of like coaching capacity, so as manager capacity as well. And I don't know why, because the Aberdeen's got a good team, you know, like you know, so yeah, I mean, I have been a bit disappointed at Aberdeen, but you never know. 2 wins and then 2 wins in a row, you could kick on in the league. But, you know, as somebody used to say, football's a funny old game. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah, but Michael, you touched on earlier in the show, it doesn't get any easier for Stephen Glasses to go to back to Celtic Park on Sunday afternoon, Michael.
Yep, and also, I mean, yeah, you know what you're going to get with Aberdeen, or maybe I don't, but most teams that comes to Celtic Park, they just park, not only park one bus, but they park about 5 buses as well on the park. But on the other hand, Celtic will get a lift from getting into the first final, and depending on first night as well in the European game, they might get a lift from there as well. So, but you can never tell, because everybody wrote Aberdeen off a few weeks ago when they went to Ibrox. So, so we just have to kind of see there. But no, I'm looking forward to the game. It should be a good game. Should be a very entertaining game. We go with my vaccinating passports now. So it should be a good game.
Do you see Stephen Glass coming under big pressure from the Aberdeen fans, because he wasn't the popular choice when Derek McInnes got sacked there?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I've heard you speaking on your podcast that you do about, because he is a friend of Dave McCormack. Dave Cormack, that the chairman would get in his way, that kind of friendship. You wouldn't like to think so. But yeah, I mean, it's funny I was speaking tonight about if he's going to come under pressure, because I think he would get come under pressure weeks ago, So, yeah, I mean, as I said, 2 or 3 results turn it round again, Regan, So, yeah, but he's got to come under pressure as well. But I don't know if Sunday will be a free hit for him going to Celtic Park. I'm not sure. Just have to wait to wait and see the kind of outcome of that game. But yeah, I'm surprised he's not come under a lot of pressure yet, because if that was any other manager or any other club, he would have by now, or else he would have been out of a job by now, So I think he could. I think he's very, very lucky he's still been in a job.
And Michael, in terms of the other side, Dundee United, they've started the season so well. What have you made of them?
You know what? I think I said this to you. I enjoyed watching Dundee United. I saw them at Parkhead a couple of weeks ago, and they got a point out of the game. And I can't remember a team that came to Celtic Park and had a go at Celtic, because when you go to Parkhead or Ibrox, like as I say, you get 5 buses bang the ball. But Dundee United came and had a go, and that's what you like to see. Tam courts or Thomas courts or whatever you want to be called now. Again, that's what I was saying about Angie Postecoglou. Nobody heard of him, and they came in and done a brilliant job so far. The same goes for Tam. Let's just call him Tam, like Regan. He's done a brilliant job. He went to Celtic Park, got a point, beat Dundee, beat Rangers, not at Ibrox, but actually at Tannadice as well. So, yeah, I mean, Dundee United is one of these teams where you're not surprised at, because they've always had good teams, and you would say decent managers as well. So, yeah, I think they'll do well, and hope, they might have a decent cup run when the Scottish Cup comes up after like the turn of the year. But yeah, very happy for Tam Courts, and yeah. But I mean, as I say, you don't have to know the guy for you to say, yeah, he's going to be a brilliant manager. Because like this game last year, I bet nobody heard of Cam Courts, and he's turned into a decent manager as well, and a decent team as well, you know.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to something you spoke about, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Do you think, in terms of the European campaign, do you think he'll be judged on that, or do you think it's just something about progression for the league title for Rangers?
You know what? I'm not buying when Rangers fans basically come round and say, "Oh, Skibby G or Skibby Gerrard was only there for one job." You know that's nonsense. If they won the treble last season, they wouldn't have said that. But I think that if he doesn't get off to a good start on Thursday night, the fans would be right on his back. But you know, I'm not sure. But obviously, it's his team, yeah. But he never brought the team. He never brought the players to the club. So I don't think you can judge him until January and until the window opens, until he kind of sells players. And they've got to sell one or two and bring in fresh faces as well, because that comment from Golson will be in everybody's minds at the moment, like the Rangers fans' minds. And you know, like if they don't perform well on Thursday night, well, people will go back to that comment that Golson made about this player doesn't want to be here in the Nets. So I don't think. I think it's too early to judge kind of like Van Bronckhorst as well. What I would say was an appointment. It was very quickly that they got the job done. But I was listening to a bit of the presser yesterday, and now I can't remember his name now. The chief executive of Rangers, he basically came out and said that we kind of knew that you know, Gerrard was going to go away because he was a big name, and we were working on the background. I thought that was quite surprising. Actually, I don't know if you kind of like heard it, but I think that was quite surprising. So you know, they might have been working on Van Bronckhorst or any other person in for the job for like a few weeks as well. But no, I don't think. But as I said, I mean, he's got to get off to a good start, and that starts on Thursday night.
Yeah, because like I said, Michael, if they can go and win that game, then they'll guarantee European football, whether it's in the Europa League or the Conference League, which will bring in more money for Van Bronckhorst to spend in January, because he wants to put his own stamp on the Rangers squad as well, Michael.
Yeah, that's what I mean about it. It's not really his team at the moment. Well, it is in a way, because you know, like he's got to manage a team. But yeah, I get your point about it's not really because he will want to bring on one or two fresh faces and bolster the squad. But you never know, that team might be a bit late, you know, as well. I mean, a lot of people said that Steven Gerrard done well, you know, leaving Rangers winning one, Scotland the 10 in a row, 4 points ahead. But as I said yesterday, it's only 4 points. You know, I would be different if it was, you know, like 10 points or 15 points or, you know, whatever. But it's only 4 points. And it's weird as well, because like, when you think about it, Reagan, Celtic were going through the exact same as Rangers were last season. Like, there was turmoil in the dressing room, and apparently they were rumoured to be fighting up at Lennoxtown and all that, and it's basically like turned on its head a wee bit, you know, and it's happening then at the other side of the city. So it's weird how football, as I say, football's a fun little game sometimes, but it's good weird how things pan out. About like when Gerrard went away to Aston Villa, I remember Brendan Rodgers done the exact same thing to Celtic. when Celtic had a big quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. Rangers had a big semi-final of the League Cup on Sunday, and look what happened to that. Yeah, look what happened to them as well.
Yep. The next thing, Michael, is there's a big game on tomorrow, and that is Ross County against Jack Ross's side, who we spoke about. And now, Michael, I was looking at the last couple of fixtures between the teams. So the last time they played, Ross County away was Jack Ross's team won by 2-1. What are you expecting from this game tomorrow?
I don't know, and that's my honest answer, because you don't really know what you're going to get with Ross County, because they're a very stuffy team, especially up at Dingwall as well. On the other side of the fence, Hibs just beat one of the big teams in Scotland. So I don't really know. I think it'd be because I always think Dingle is a very, very tight park. So you never know what you're going to get out of the game and stuff. So, but now that I say that, it might be a comfortable win for Hibs or whatever. So yeah, I mean, Wednesday, it's a midweek game as well. It's not the usual Saturday 3:00 kickoff as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very kind of like interesting game. I'm going to see if I can watch that game tomorrow night, just because I like watching Scottish football. And yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Regan, but I think it's going to be a very kind of like interesting game. But I don't think Hibs will go up there to defend. They don't kind of like strike me that kind of team that they'll come out, they'll have a go. And yeah, we'll just see what happens there.
Yeah, because I mean, Michael, you just look at it. The Dingwall side, they were fresh off the back of a 5-0 win off from Dundee, and then they had the COVID issues as well. So it's going to be an interesting game because both teams are playing very well at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know that we spoke about the Rangers game on Sunday, and I was quite surprised the way Hibs played, because I thought Hibs would be a bit cold because that they haven't had a game for, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks. And it shows you that I know that they come back and won and dominated the game, not 45 minutes, but 90 minutes of the game. But yeah, I mean, I think Hibs will be on a bit of a high at the moment. Rates in the cup final, a green and white cup final. So yeah, I mean, but as I say, I mean, Ross County is a very kind of like stuffy team as well, and they've got good players kind of like in the team, and they good manager like Malcolm Mackay as well. So yeah, it's going to make for a very interesting game.
Michael, have you got a score prediction?
Yeah, I would like to predict a score, but I'll get it horribly wrong as usual. In fact, I picked a horse in the Grand National about 5 years ago, and I think it's still running backwards. So I think I'll go for a 3-1 win to Hibs.
Yep. Michael, and obviously I've not been on this channel since last week, but since last week we've had the sad passing of Scottish football legend and Bertie Auld.
Yeah, I think you text me the news, Regan. Obviously, my condolences to his family as well, but we knew that Bertie Auld wasn't well for a while, but yeah, what I was saying earlier on about Scott Brown being like a Celtic legend, you would put Bertie Auld in that bracket and say he was Mr. Celtic. He was, everything about Celtic. Celtic fans love him. Not even going to the park and the match day, but even when you go to different events outside the game, like different functions and all that, he was always there. And he used to wear his blazer as well. And he likes a good sing song, a good karaoke song as well. But yeah, I mean, and I thought the Greenberg gig, that was a brilliant tribute on Saturday to the great man as well. Great, a fitting tribute to a brilliant man, and I'll be sadly missed, but he won't be forgotten as well. I was watching the Celtic Christmas advert again. It was nice to see that that they had kind of Bertie Auld in as a tribute thing, because every year when the Celtic advert comes out, he's always in it. So it's been in the limelight, shall I say? But no, I mean, a brilliant guy, and the sad loss to not only Celtic but to kind of like Scottish football in general, and I know that we use the word legend a lot in football, but I think he was a legend just because of what he done and his teammates done. The Lisbon Lions, that'll never be forgotten about, and it'll never been done again, and obviously it's in history as well. So yeah, I mean, sad news when I heard that.
And Michael, because you spoke about the Lisbon Lions, because they all grew up so close to each other as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's that'll never been done before. Sorry, that'll never happen again. People skin next to each other, and that was when I might think that an old person here when I say this, but that was football when. That was football at, because now it's all about money, it's all about a business. Whereas back then it's like, oh, I love Celtic, I want to play for this jersey, I want to win European Cups and what have you. It's kind of the old trends, but no, that'll never be forgotten. And then when you hear the sad passing of Bertie Auld, you think about the Billy McNeil, Tommy Gemmell, and all that kind of like gone as well. It's very sad to see, to hear. I think there's only about 4 of them left, and all that, and but yeah, it's just terrible to see. But yeah, so I'll never been done before. I'll never been done again. But yeah, I mean, that was Celtic. That was the face of Celtic. No matter whether if you go into hospitality at the Celtic games or whatever, and they all have time for you. Like nowadays, like you go up for like a selfie with the player and say, no, I'm not doing 10 minutes, and they don't come back. But they always say, yeah, but especially kind of Bertie Auld, and yeah, give me a picture, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's just sad when you hear kind of like news like that as well. But it's nice to hear the memories of people. I know Tony Haggerty was speaking on a Celtic's Get Mind a few weeks ago, I think it was. And he told a story as well, and it's always good to listen to these memories,
Yep. So, Michael, that is now approaching 7 o'clock. So I just want to thank you for joining me on the State of Scottish Football. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Reagan. Nice to be here.